Okay, no, we're good.
Well, part of it depends. I mean, if you refer to a covert operation, depending on how you described it in the memo may, if you talk about a covert operation in terms of what information we're trying to get, without spelling out exactly how you're going to go about getting it, then covert operation may not, I mean, if you're intentionally using it as code language for a burglary, then there's a problem. But if there's a range of possibilities, both legal and illegal, then covert operation, you know, one would assume, or one would presume, that the avenue that's going to be taken is the legal one.
Right. But at the time, I think people were aware who were the perps at the time, that this was going to be an entry operation, which technically did constitute burglary because they were going to take something, in a photograph, take something out. But the way it was described was not in that language.
You have to have some way, including Dreyer and Madoff, of making this okay. You have to have something that you tell yourself. In The Faith Healer, I think the guy is telling himself over and over again that these people aren't real. I'm not hurting anybody, really. They're not really real. Unless they serve my purpose. I healed this one. I'll remember this one. Everyone else is discarded. If you're a pedophile and you're attracted to 3-year-olds, you tell yourself she was flirting with you and she enjoyed it. That this is an invitation, a soft invitation into the sexual world that you didn't have the comfort of having when you were 3. And I know it sounds perverse, but it's the real world. There are different things you have to say in order to continue the behavior. Whether it's Madoff, whether it's Dreyer, whether it's Bud, whether it's, sorry Bud, whether it's whomever.
I am not a crook. Conspirator maybe, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the time. And then it's the capacity for self-reflection afterwards. And many times, unfortunately, the reflection never happens. Or when you get caught and you're going to do an interview, you might try to pose as a self-reflector, when in reality, there's no meat to what was said by Dreyer, in my opinion.
So one of the lessons that I'm taking is that if you feel miserable, you're probably okay. I mean, it's when you...
They feel great. They don't think they're doing anything wrong. So they are justifying it. They find a way to get comfortable in what they're doing.
There you go. There you go. As long as you're full of anxiety and tension, you're going to be okay. All right, let's turn once again to another selection from Faith Healer. Ray's going to continue on with Frank.
And the people who came, what is there to say about them? They were a despairing people. That they came to me, a mountebank, was a measure of their despair. They seldom spoke. Sometimes they didn't even raise their eyes. They just sat there, assuming that I divined their complaints. Abject, abased, tight. Longing to open themselves, and at the same time fearful and fearfully hurting the anxiety they contained against disturbance. And they hated me. Oh, yes, they hated me. Because by coming to me, they publicly acknowledged their desperation. And even though they